All right, good morning, everybody. So, this morning we're going to play a little bit. This is going to be fun, I think. And one thing I want to start off by saying is that sometimes with our bird sits, I encourage you all to do things that sometimes doesn't seem like it would be bird related. But just keep in the back of your mind, I think most of you who've been with me for a while know by now that there is a connection to the birds in one way or another. And what I'm attempting to do here is to really strengthen and develop your skills as a bird lover, a bird watcher, a nature lover, all that. So if it seems like you're doing something that has nothing to do with birds, then just, be willing to, if you can, be willing to go along with it and just play along. And because it's all about developing your skills and deepening your practice, also deepening your connection to nature. So all right, so everyone go ahead and find a nice place to sit, whether you're inside or outside, because we're going to get started now. And if you're indoors, I always encourage you to find a window to either look out of or crack so you can at least hear what's going on outside. And let's just start by feeling your feet on the earth or the ground beneath you, whatever it is. Just experience our connection right now to the ground beneath our feet. Let yourself just explore that area down deep. Like who's moving, who might be moving around the earth beneath your feet. So even if you're in a house right now, if you're somewhere inside, then just let yourself feel that and notice the connection. Notice like what, I don't know, imagine like, are there worms down there moving? Who's moving underneath your house, underneath your feet right now? And just take a moment to connect with them. And now we'll start at our toes, just connecting with your own self right now. So noticing your toes all the way from your little pinky toe to your big toe and those middle toes that we sometimes forget. And let yourself just start to explore your body, kind of getting to know it as if you're introducing yourself to your body this morning. Getting to meet your ankles, your shins, the place underneath your kneecaps. Remember that place? Sometimes it's crinkly for some people. And just become familiar with your body this morning, noticing the places where it feels playful, the places where it feels a little stiff, places where it might feel tight and constricted, maybe protective even, and the places where it feels open, or anything else you're experiencing. And if there are any places in your body that feel particularly tight or constricted, maybe protective, see if you can gently inspire or ask that place of your body to receive some more breath. So just take a nice deep breath and imagine that you're giving that breath to that place. Can you expand and open a little bit more? And if not, if you're still feeling like you need to hold on or hold tight to that area, that's perfectly fine. But sometimes we don't even realize that we're holding that tightness or that stiffness in our body. It's just become habit. And those places might appreciate a little bit of expansion or softening right now. Good work. And so while we're exploring our own bodies, if you want to right now and you feel like you're in a good, safe place, you can close your eyes. And let's just take a moment to explore our inner body right now, in particular our lungs. Let's start with our lungs first. As you take a nice deep, slow breath in, see if you can really feel all the bits and pieces, all the crevices of your lungs, those hidden places in the darkness of your body. And as you're hanging out in your lungs, your heart's not too far away from that place. So let yourself feel your heartbeat right now. And then just see if you can tap into the rhythm of your heart rate in this moment. Good work. So when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. Just notice where your gaze is falling right now. And just let yourself stay there. And normally I have you look far away, but if it's close, that's fine. Just stay with where your gaze is and allow yourself to expand your vision in all directions. So you're going to focus on that one point, but then just let everything around it become soft. And do your best to expand. So as if you're going to look above and below you and from right to left, all at the same time. And the further out you get, the further expanded away from that center point you get, the more blurry your vision often becomes. And just see if you can allow that to happen. Let go of a little bit of the control that we hold on to with that clarity of vision. And just let the blurriness come in and then just see what starts to happen. Nice. So do your best to stay in this owl eyes, this expanded vision for as long as you can right now. And we're going to tune our ears to the sounds around us. So we'll begin by picking up a sound that's most pleasing to you. So find a sound that's really pleasing to your ears right now and just let yourself explore that sound for a moment. Nice work. And now go ahead and find a sound that's far away. Really stretch your ears this time and reach for one that's off in the distance. What's happening in the world away from our normal sphere of awareness? Good work. All right, so today for our play and our practice, we're going to embody our child selves. So we get to be little kids again. So I want you to think about an age where you felt really playful and free. I know some people maybe didn't have a playful childhood. Other people really had a very free and, just a playful kind of childhood. So if you can find a time, it's around the age of 6 or 7, or at least the nearest you can get to that, where you felt most playful, most free, most expressed. Just think about that for a moment. Remember who that little person was, that little girl. Think of a silly moment that she might have had. And to help us get into our child selves, what I want you all to do, and you may want to turn away from the camera for this because we're going to get silly for a minute. This is that part where it's like, does this really have to do with birds, Kristi? So I want you to turn away from the cameras. And then when you're in a position where you don't feel like anyone can see you, I want you to make the silliest face you can. Like you're a 6-year-old kid and you just want to like make someone in front of you laugh or just be like, you're a turd, whatever it is. Just do a silly face right now. I want you to really get into it. Okay, that's good. So that might have been a little awkward or uncomfortable for some people, being silly like that. I'm like, can the neighbors see me? I'm sticking my tongue out right now. So, but our little 6-year-old selves wouldn't care, right? They wouldn't be as attentive to like who's watching them. They would just be in their bodies and their experience. So when we're sitting here today, and feel free to get up and move. If you're feeling called, like your 6 or 7-year-old self is like, I want to go over there, then just do it. Forget about what I'm talking about and just go follow it. But if you want to just stay here, that's totally fine too. And so, what we're going to do is we're just going to explore the world through the eyes and the ears of our younger self. And so just start first. Let's just use our eyes. So we're going to just explore the land and let yourself just explore with your eyes until you find something that your 6-year-old self is really curious about. And then just see where the thought patterns take you as the embodied 6-year-old or 7-year-old, whatever it is, self. Just notice how you're being also. So we'll let ourselves just play in that way of being for a few minutes. Okay, so if you're fully embodying your 6-year-old self, you might not want me to tell you at all what to do right now, and that's perfectly fine. Keep following that guidance of your own self. But if you want a little bit more guidance from me, then you can listen up. So you can keep trying to explore, not trying, but just keep exploring your landscape right now. And you can also start to shift to looking for a tree that you want to climb. So looking around your yard and be like, how could I get up that tree? Or like, where's a really good tree to climb? And then just let yourself try to figure out like how to get up it, where would you go, and what birds hang out next to you there. Like if you really wanted to like hang out with one of your bird friends, like how, where would you go? Which branch would you sit on? And how, what would you do when you were up there? Okay, and again, if you're doing your 6-year-old thing, you don't have to listen to me right now. But if you want a little direction, next, I'd like you to look around your yard and see if you can find a good like tunnel or trail that would be really fun to crawl into. Like, are there already trails that the animals have made that you could go and explore? Like, which ones are those and where are they? Is there any like big leaves or big like shrub that you might just want to go hide in and just, like if your parents were looking for you, you just would want to like hide from them and have no one be able to find you? Like, where would you go? And now, if you'd like, you can keep exploring the trails or the trees or any friends that you find, any bird friends or animal friends that you just wanted to follow along with. You can keep following them. Or now, just like a 6-year-old might or a 7-year-old might, just go ahead and let yourself just watch the clouds for a while. If there's clouds, if there's not, you can just watch the sky. Just let yourself stare up at the sky for a little while. Watch the world go by for just the next few minutes. The next couple of minutes, while you're letting yourself just explore the clouds, just remember that you have nowhere to be, nothing to do, and I'm giving you permission just to sit here and watch the clouds go by. So this one might be hard to come back from. I know for me, sometimes it is. When I let myself just play and just be, go ahead and take the next couple of minutes and offer your own blessing or gratitude to those ones that you got to play with today, and those places on the land that you got to explore. Alrighty. So, if anyone wants to share, if you need to go, of course, thank you as always for being here. And if you need to, or if you want to stay for our chat, you're welcome to stay. And I'd love to hear from folks. What was that like? What did you experience? What did you discover? Yeah, go for it, Claudia.
When you said to, think about climbing a tree or finding a place to hide, I was ahead of you. Those are things I'd already been doing. And the first thing I wanted to do was to climb up on something. I just pictured myself climbing up on the picnic table so I could look over into the neighbor's yard and, look beyond, see new things. I realized that was not going to work at this point. But also, as I was looking at the tree to climb, and the branches are kind of up high where you could start climbing. And so I pictured myself getting the ladder, getting myself up there. And Woodhouse Jay came and rested on one of the branches. I could sit right by him. And then I was thinking of places to hide, like for hide and seek, or just that feeling of being like in a cave. You pretend you're in a tent or a cave. And so I was thinking about those. And then when we did the clouds, I realized something I don't think I've ever thought of before. There's quite a bit of cloud cover, but there's blue spots of blue. And I realized that I could look for shapes in those spots of blue, that the clouds create shapes in the blue. So there was like a rabbit running across the sky, and there was a duck head and several things, but those were all so fun. Thank you.
Oh, I totally love that. That's so fun, Claudia. Thank you so much. That's so fun to be with you and like, yeah. Oh, how many other folks like found places to hide and found trees to climb and yeah, like that was, I mean, right there with you, right? That's awesome. Thank you, thank you. Who else wants to share there? Yeah, you're welcome, Linda. Anyone else want to share their experience? Yeah, go for it, Della.
Yeah. Well, as I was sitting here watching out the window because it's raining this morning, I saw what I thought was probably a California scrub jay, but I wasn't sure because it's pretty far. So I grabbed my binoculars and looked more closely, and then my camera and looked more closely, and yes, and he had nesting material in his bill. So I thought that was, I don't know, as a kid, I would love that.
Yeah, that's awesome, Della. Thank you. Did you see where it was going with the nesting material?
I didn't, it disappeared but it was across the street. So, and it was sitting on electric utility lines.
Uh-huh.
So,
So
but
maybe
that
you're gonna have to
means,
sneak into your neighbor's yard.
yeah, so he's building a nest somewhere.
Yeah, that's so cool. I know. So for me, a couple things happened right away when I was just listening first. I was hearing the yellow rumped warblers do their little chip calls back and forth, and it reminded me of like they were playing tag. I've never thought of them that way before. I've always been like, oh, they're talking to each other, but I was like, no, they're playing tag. One's like here, here, or like some other like their own version of like a tag game or something. Like trying to catch each other, or like I'm over here. Oh, I'm over here. I'm over here. I'm over here. And it just felt kind of fun. And what was the other thing that happened? The hiding places, that was really fun. It was like really these like cozy little nooks that I'm finding in the yard right here. And also, this is one of those things that's really like it taps us into the natural world, because if it is looking like a good nook for a 6 or 7 year old, it's probably a good nook for a cat, for a fox, for a weasel, for, you know, all sorts of other critters. So where our younger self draws us often are places where the animals might naturally be drawn to as well. So I think in that way it does help us to connect more deeply with our place. And um, yeah, there was something else that happened. I'm trying to remember. I'll think of it after. But anyway, yeah, that was hard for me to come back from, because I was like, this is just so fun. I just want to sit here and like hang out with these guys, and I noticed that that was sort of my intention, or just to see it, because I've had this happen before. But I find that the birds tend to come closer when when we aren't our serious adult selves, you know, trying to be quiet or trying to be still. When we just let ourselves sort of play in the natural world and have that relaxed, playful spirit, then the birds come closer. Like the cardinal is often kind of a skittish sort of bird, and it was coming around pretty close today, and that was nice to see that that you know, I don't know, maybe it's just getting used to me, but I think it was a little bit about how I was being, you know, and yeah, it's good to try that on every once in a while, you know, just let yourself be the kid self, especially if you really want to see a bird, you know. And I mean, of course, you know, sometimes 6-year-olds can just like scare all the birds away because they're like, ah, you know. And so maybe it's your more chill 6-year-old self, the kind that like just woke up or something like that, you know, doesn't have all their full energy just yet. Anyone else want to share what they experienced, saw, or heard while you were playing around with this? Not so much. The other reason I wanted to do this with you all today is that I've read a number of accounts of people who experienced, or you know, were with the native folks, you know, like many, many, many hundreds of years ago, you know. And there's one account in particular. It's actually had like a really sad sort of ending, as some of these stories do. But there were these two, I forget, I think, I'm not sure, they were a tribe up in the north, maybe near like Minnesota or Michigan, and a Frenchman had hired them to take him down this riverway. And the account was of like the passenger traveling with them, and he was saying how these two native men like just kept stopping. They were so like, even though this is their home, this is where they've been living their whole life, like they'd see some kind of fish in the water and they would just stop and they'd be like, oh, you know, and they would like want to see it and check it out, or they'd see a bird, or they'd see like something interesting that's almost every little step of the way, and they'd be like so enamored with it, they'd want to check it out and explore it more. And the guy, the Frenchman, kept like beating them. He was like hitting them because he was just like, you're wasting time, what are you doing, like, you know, we have a place, we have to get down the river. And they just had a different way of being in the world, you know. And I often think of that story. So I and just think of people who live close to the land as you know, just knowing a little bit more about how to have a deep connection with the natural world. And so whether it's our ancestors over in Europe or wherever we, you know, our people originated from, at some point we had people who lived close to the land. So yeah, just let yourself play with that a little bit this week and see what happens, you know, even if it's just in your mind, just the way you shift how you're thinking and how you're looking at the world, you know, or let yourself skip, you know. I went for a run today and I just let myself like jump over all these, like there's just like branches on the ground on the beach, and I was just like letting myself like jump over them. I was like, all right, I'm gonna try on this kid thing, you know, and just see how it goes. And it was just so fun. I had this one gull who was like flying over me, and I could tell he was like, well, because one time I jumped and I had my arms up, you know, and at that point, the gull was just like, it's like stopped what it was doing and like turned back around and like came and like flew over me a couple of times. I think he was like, what is she doing? Does she see something down there? And so I think there's ways that the world will start to play with us too. So anyway, just wanted to leave y'all with that today. What are you seeing, Jackie? I see that, oh my gosh, coming out of your mouth. What is it?
We were talking about nesting material. This silly towhee, spotted towhee, is in my, it's called a mock orange bush, and
Yeah.
he's finding little twigs and he's yanking them off and collecting them in his beak. I'm like, that's what you're going to use for your nest? I mean,
Wow.
this tree is alive and well, so he's struggling to get little
Yeah.
branches off of it.
Wow. So where are you, Jackie?
Sacramento.
Okay, okay. Because I'm always, like hearing some of you talk about birds nesting. I'm just like, all right, where is everybody? Like, which birds are nesting
These
already?
are everywhere. I have couples of, I have butterbutts, I have kinglet, I have titmice, I have this flowering plum tree, and each bird wants something from those flowers. Some of them
Uh-huh.
want just the center. Some of them bite off the back and spit out the petals. I mean, this is a huge supermarket that I got in my backyard, and so many birds, the little bush tits, everybody wants to eat the plum flowers.
Oh, Jackie, that's wow. It's so beautiful that you've provided all that for them there, or whatever. Maybe it was there before you moved
Yeah,
in, but whatever. What a beautiful thing.
but I wouldn't even have known. I mean, I've got native plants. That's not
Yeah,
what they're after. The little pink flowers on my plum tree.
yeah. Oh, what a gift. That's so sweet. Della, go for it.
Yeah, Jackie, thank you for talking about that because I have a plum tree too with little pink flowers right outside my window here. And I've been watching the gold crowned sparrows go for the blossoms. And matter of fact, one year I thought my tree wasn't blossoming, and then I realized that they were just eating all the blossoms. But I didn't know that different birds ate different parts of. I have to watch for that. I did not know that. Interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, so cool. So cool we get to learn together here, you know? And I mean, I know Della and Jackie aren't too far apart. They're both in California. So yeah, similar kind of environment. And anyway, so good to be with you all today. Thank you for just giving me a chance to explore the world with you all together today. And yeah, so nice to be here. So have a beautiful week. Keep exploring and enjoy everybody. All right, much love to you all. Okay, bye-bye.